What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the vlog. Today we're gonna give the GTI a little bit more aggressive front. So it's pretty chilly out here today, so I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the bumper off the car. I'm gonna bring it upstairs and do all the work upstairs in my living room because, again, it's just a little bit too cold. So excuse my scratchy throat. Not feeling very well today, but I still wanted to get the content out for you guys. So let's go to the car, let's take off the front clip and bring it upstairs and get this done. So I've yet to tell you what exactly we're doing with the front bumper. Now, you guys know I have that easy lip that I just fixed maybe a month or two ago and got to line up correctly. But we're gonna take that off and we're gonna go with a little bit less conservative route. And by less conservative, I mean Maxton Splitter. So along with the Maxton Splitter, you also get the splitter rods. That's gonna come up as well. And I am also going to attempt to actually remove the front grille, the lower front grille, so you can see the intercooler and you actually get a much more aggressive front end. Now, the GTI itself is actually very conservative, and I'm not a very conservative person when it comes to cars. So we're gonna go a different route. So the first thing we're gonna do is remove the lower easy lip that I installed. I'm gonna take all these screws out and pretty much yank this thing off. It's just held on by a few staples and some 3M tape. The cool thing about Maxton Industries is that they include all the hardware, every single bolt, every single nut. The bad thing is they don't tell you where to put it. So we need to figure out how to put together the front splitter prior to bringing it onto this. So in the kit you get the splitter right here. You get a bunch of these, you get the rods for the front, and you get a bunch of bolts. Just from eyeballing it, these little pieces that you get are for here. It's to create a little bit of space between the front bumper and the splitter itself so air can cut through it. We're gonna bring the front splitter up to the front bumper. I have it flipped backwards here. We're gonna line up a couple of bolts, do some drilling, set this in place, and then do some drilling on the rest of them. Now, here's one cool thing about the splitter that you probably realize. When you set it, it actually lines up with this groove here all the way to the end. And it actually even lines up with this notch that's back here. Maybe it's easier in the light over here. But there's a small notch on the bumper that goes like this. It actually lines up perfectly in there. So you can't really mess this up so long as you line it up correctly and just do some drilling. So I'm actually going to make guide holes for the two middle ones here, just so that I don't screw up the alignment later on. These things are going to go right in here and line up with those holes with the curved part, I think, facing forward, I guess, to cut the wind. And then obviously the Maxton splitter is going to go right on top of that. Okay, so once you line up all the bolts, you want to obviously feed through it with one of these washers up top. And then go underneath and do something similar, but with the nut underneath, and then tighten it up. This thing should be super sturdy by the time you're done with it. I took it off camera because it actually took forever to use these. Now, from what I can tell, the little spacers are to just kind of add height to this. So the less you put, the furthest away it will be from the ground. The more of these you put, you can actually stack them up and use the longer bolts because they give you longer bolts. If you do it that way, then you'll have, I guess, a little bit more of a gap. I chose to not have much of a gap between it. Reason being, I didn't want this thing getting caught and obviously ripping my whole oil pan just like Mr. Grizzly's did. Now, this is not the Flow Design one, but I do think that because this thing is so sturdy as far as like how many bolts it has on it, it won't just crack, it'll take my whole front bumper with it if I hit something. So let me get to finishing this up. This is taking forever, and then we'll move on to the grill. So I decided to skip out on the rods that go from here to here. I don't really want to trim to the front bumper just yet. Maybe in a few months or something. So before I get hosed for not doing something a second time, I chose not to take off the front grille after all for the intercooler, because one, it's a pain in the butt, even if I'm doing it upstairs. Actually, the way I look at it is, I thought it was just the front, just a piece of the grill, but the grill itself goes down all the way to the bottom. So it's a pain in the butt to take off because all the clips are one. I'm not sure if they have like glue on them on top, because they're just really hard to take off. Maybe I just don't know the proper procedure to take it off. I can't find it anywhere online which clip to take off first, yada yada yada, or what clips to take off, period, because it's really difficult. Number two, why should I show off my power mods? I just want people to think I'm a hoser, and I just do all kinds of aesthetic modifications, and my car can't go anywhere. Little did you know, I have about 370 torque. Let's put this back on the car. Let's see how it looks. Hope you guys enjoyed that little install video. I think the car looks great. See you in the next one, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Peace out.